Alrighty, it's noon on the dot. Good Tuesday afternoon, everyone. It is noon here in Cincinnati, and it is a little gloomy outside. A little gloomy, but nothing we can't handle, right? Because it's nice and warm, too. Temperatures, despite all the gloom we're seeing outside, and maybe a few peaks of sunshine, too, at times. Despite some of that gloom, we are still going to reach the upper 50s, almost 60 degrees this afternoon, just a couple days before Christmas. We'll have a little speed bump in our warm-up over the next couple of days. That arrives tomorrow in the form of a cold front, mostly dry one. That'll get us a little chilly tomorrow, right? Especially for the morning. We'll be back closer to the freezing point. With it, a little bit of pesky fog, not out of the question. That's something we'll have to contend with for your Christmas Eve morning. Maybe a little fog as well for Christmas Day. We're going to talk about all of that. We're going to talk about the numerous rain chances we have on the way. And we're also going to talk a little bit about when winter's coming back, because we do have some indications that it is coming back. And it's going to be pretty chilly just about a week from now. More on that coming up in just a bit. As always, if anybody, let me go ahead and start these before I forget. Got a few more buttons to push. There we go. Or else the Roku ground gets pretty upset. Anywho, I was just telling everybody here, if you're just tuning in now on Roku here on this fine Tuesday, and not so terrible Tuesday, about all the stuff we're going to talk about, including some rain chances, big cool down. Winter is coming back. Maybe before some of you want it, but we'll have it coming for you here soon with temperatures, maybe even some teens on the way here for next week. We'll talk about that coming up in just a bit. As always, if anybody has questions, shout them out in the comments here on Facebook. More than happy to try to answer most of those. Whatever you got. I probably am not the gift advice giver, so probably not that, or how to wrap presents. You don't want my advice for that. But more than happy to help on the weather side of things or many other sciencey questions you might have. So, all right, let's hop to it here on this, again, not so terrible Tuesday. Let's see, roller door. There we go. We're just 2 days away, as you know, from Christmas. I know it doesn't feel like it outside. We're still in the 50s, right? Almost 60 degrees today. But we are just 2 days away. It will not be our warmest Christmas ever. Probably won't be our wettest Christmas ever, but it will be warm and wet, not so much wintry this year. If you're hoping for the white Christmas, I told you about 15 days ago, probably wasn't going to happen, and we are still on that thread. We are at a 0% chance for a white Christmas this year. Kwanzaa begins on Friday, and that'll be our warmest day of the next 10. And as we work our way towards New Year's Eve, it will definitely feel a lot like winter again. So make sure to make the most of these warm temperatures. If you have any errands you need to run, or there's maybe a new toy you want to get outside and play with it. Trying to do that here before we hit the second half of the weekend, because not only are we going to see the better rain chances by that point, but temperatures are going to go tumbling off pretty quickly on our roller coaster we ride this time of year. Last white Christmas in the banner there was 2022. We had 2 inches of snow on the ground. The year just before that, we had our hottest Christmas ever. 69 degrees outside, so we had a very warm Christmas. The year after, we had a white Christmas. If we follow that pattern, hey, maybe next year we'll have a white Christmas again. But it's not going to happen this year, and we're not going to see any record-breaking anything, which is always good. If you're not breaking records for the holidays, it usually means that it's a pretty pleasant day. Pleasant in this case will be more so in the temperature department than it will be in the weather department, because we will see some scattered showers out and about, especially for the first half or so of our Christmas day. Weather number of the day, speaking of wet, 48.88, a lot of 8s going on there. That's our total liquid precipitation so far in 2025. It's 21 highest, number 21 on the all-time list of wettest years, right? We would make the top 15 if we just get a little bit higher. So that's how much little separation we have there in between, spots 15 to 20. If we could get just a little over an inch more, we'd reach the top 15 on that list. We're not going to get the wettest ever, right? Unless something absolutely catastrophic happens between now and the next 9 days. But it's still above normal. Another above normal year. I'd have to go back and look, but I think like out of the last 5, I think 4 maybe have been above normal, maybe even more than that. When it comes to precipitation. That has been trending up pretty steadily the last few years, a normal amount of precipitation here in the Ohio Valley. Wide view right now of downtown. We got the rail yards down there, the backside of the Hall of Justice. And like I said, a little gloom, but it looks worse than it is. A lot of times on this camera image, and most of our camera images, when it looks nice and sunny and it looks perfect outside, it's usually brutally cold. In this case, it looks worse than it is today. It looks gloomy, it looks gray, but Yeah, it's pretty comfortable outside. We're already up to 57 degrees. I might have to bump our highs into the 60s today. I have us at 59, but don't be surprised if a lot of areas start to sneak here the next couple hours into the 60s with that southerly breeze. We're riding that warm wave up. Lunkin already up to 60. 56 in Maysville, 57 in Vevey, and then off to the southwest, just a little bit down the road, Nashville's at 64, and they got some 70s back in Arkansas and Texas. It's not going to get that warm, but we are going to try to enjoy this little warm wave while it lasts, because there is a cold front lurking. It's a dry one again. That will give us at least a little chance for a cool down tomorrow. It's our little speed bump on our way to what looks to be a very mild Christmas and end to this week. So that cold front arrives late tonight, early tomorrow. It will be just cold enough. We'll see some fog try to develop on that boundary tomorrow where it kind of stalls out over the Ohio Valley. And then we're on our way to a not so terrible Christmas Eve, right? Some shower chances return later tomorrow. But it's not going to be a washout or anything, so nothing to cancel plans over. JD asking about Canton for tomorrow morning. It will be cold. A little chilly tomorrow morning, and then overall pretty nice day for your Christmas Eve. Just a little gloomy outside at times with some showers later on at night. I do want to, speaking of rain, we have no excessive rainfall issues here in the Ohio Valley, but I do want to point out a rare high risk, and it's for a spot that always jokes about how their weather's better than everybody else's, except for this time of the year. Southern California, a rare high risk event for excessive rainfall tomorrow. If you do have any travel plans that take you out to Southern California tomorrow, or you're, just keep a close eye on this. Not too many people tuning in on the stream from Southern California. But if you have any travel plans that take you for whatever reason through LA, watch out, because they're going to see some issues when it comes to flooding tomorrow. Another factor, what it is, it's an atmospheric river that's pushing into California, right, leading to flooding, not just in the LA area and down towards San Diego, but you can see how this stretches even into Las Vegas, an area not really prone to a lot of heavy rain. They have issues in San Fran all the way through the Sierras, something to keep an eye on here, but especially so in the LA basin because of some existing burn scars from some of the wildfires earlier this year out there. There's nothing on the ground to soak up that moisture, right? Plants or anything, that just all goes to runoff. And then you get the mud and the soot and everything else from those wildfires. It just runs right off. You have some big mudslide issues. So that's going to be a potential problem in California. That's something you'll probably unfortunately hear about. This is for tomorrow, Christmas Eve. So again, any connections that take you through LA could be a problem with all that heavy rain and the flooding problems they're likely to see. Otherwise, much of the rest of the country won't see many issues, but that'll be a big talker probably for Christmas Day. I know the big thing is not really normally turning on. I've seen the ratings on Christmas days around here. I don't anticipate most of you are going to wake up dark and early on a Christmas morning and say, let's turn the news on to see what terrible things have happened. But if that's you, thank you for tuning in. You'll probably hear a lot about that in the coming days as that atmospheric river pulls in. And before this goes all the way back over here, hold please as I zoom back out and show you what I'm talking about with this atmospheric river that's going to get going out here to the west, right? It's this storm system that's pulling up all this moisture. Now, I only have the northern hemisphere turned on, so that my satellite just kind of stops there, but you can kind of make out, if you use your imagination, how this is all just getting pulled up. Courtesy of a low out here in the Pacific, which I'm just going to assume is about right there. So it's pulling up all that moisture. It runs into the mountains, the topography, and just kind of squeezes it out like a sponge. So they'll see some problems there as we work way through the day tomorrow. Here, not bad. Nikki here asking about our next big snowstorm. Sorry to disappoint. I don't have any the next 10 days. I do have at least a few chances for some flakes. We'll talk about that, but likely not to see at least any big snowstorms. Now, what I do have is a big drop in temperatures. I'm not talking about tomorrow, but a big drop in temperatures by the end of this forecast, a little closer to New Year's Eve, and especially, next week. So that's the ingredient we need. We haven't had it in a while. That's why it's been mostly rain and dreary outside. But we'll keep an eye on that for next week and next year, because as we work away into January, we have a lot of winter left. We just need that cold air to kind of stay in place. Temperatures take a dive tonight, closer to the freezing point. There will be some fog outside. This is what we like to call Rudolph weather, right? Then one foggy Christmas Eve. It just, the songs write themselves, folks. Less than a quarter mile of visibility, not out of the question. Through tomorrow morning, especially around and south of town, Kentucky in particular, if you have to head south, well into central and southern Kentucky, that's where you could see some issues. The rest of the tri-state, it should be pretty minimal problems, but since it's not a real big commute day for most people in general, this shouldn't be a major issue for us here when it comes to traffic in the tri-state. Christmas Day, similar story. This is more so not the dense fog, but more so that kind of misty drizzle to be a nuisance. That's what we'll see outside early Christmas morning. Enough that, again, Rudolph and his red nose will be doing a little bit of extra work here in the tri-state to get those packages delivered. So just be aware of that. Early Thursday, that is Christmas morning. That'll lift out of here, and we're on our way to a not-so-terrible Christmas Day. Yes, it's going to be a little soggy at times. It will not be a white Christmas, but it will be a warm one. 60 degrees outside, and then 65 for the first day of Kwanzaa there on Friday. And then here we go down the weather timeline. No other questions so far, so sorry to disappoint Nikki on that, but this is mostly going to be green showing up here on the weather timeline as we work our way through into next week. So here we go through Thursday. This is late Wednesday night, so maybe you're thinking midnight mass, late Wednesday into early Christmas morning. There will be some showers out and about, enough to be a nuisance, but not really enough to cause any significant problems. Thursday morning, it does start off a little soggy, right? But the later we get into your Christmas Day, the better the weather is going to be. Still a few lingering showers, but generally drier as we get into the day. And then the rest of your Friday looks also pretty soggy, right? Not a complete washout. There will be dry time in here, but pretty wet. But that's our warmest day of the next 10. We'll end up topping out Friday in the mid-60s. Some spots may be upper 60s. I think that gets held back a little bit by the rain chances, but can't rule it out. Enjoy the warm-up. We stay warm for Saturday and stay mostly dry for the weekend, so you can bet that everything outdoors-wise is going to be slammed. If you're heading down to maybe the Festival of Lights over at the Cincinnati Zoo, or you have something else going on, watch out. There will be big crowds. Right? Everybody has the weekend off and the holiday or whatnot, so expect that to be a mess. Big crowds outside. Showers today. No, the rain chance, Brandon, for the day is done. It looks worse than it is outside, just looking at the camera back here. So we're done with the rain for today, but we'll see some showers return late tomorrow. So that's the next chance for some rain. Otherwise, just gloomy out there, kind of dreary, and just very mild, almost 60 degrees today, if not warmer. Saturday stays dry, so again, expect the big crowds. That cold front arrives for Sunday just in time for the Bengals game, right? You're heading down to Old Paycor. You're going to probably not be happy for various reasons, but weather one of them. And the rain is coming through. It's going to be cooling. Yeah, it's going to be cooling down. I don't know why I can't talk. It's the coffee. I start at this point of the day. This starts to get low. I mean, honestly, that's probably the highest amount I've had for a stream left. What I'm going to say is that usually that runs low, and I need to go get some more caffeine and start to fall apart. Mike, Merry Christmas to you. Hopefully you have a good Christmas and a good holiday. Not too bad for Christmas this year until we hit Sunday. And that's going to be the catalyst for change, right? This is a big cold front. What's going to happen is on Sunday the temperatures are dropping all day. By midnight, early Sunday morning, we're going to start off close to 60 degrees. By the time we hit kickoff, just about 12 hours later, we're going to be in the mid-40s. By the time we hit early Monday morning behind this cold front, we're going to be in the teens. That's how quickly it is going to turn around. It's like if you were going through Sailor Park and you saw the cop on the side of the road, you were slamming on the brakes. Same situation with these temperatures. They're going to be dropping like a rock, just like your speedometer. All the way down in the teens by Monday morning. Yes, that does change to blue. But with how warm it's going to be ahead of time, it's not going to stick. So don't worry too much about that. Maybe a few flakes late Sunday night with no issues in the next week. By the time we hit Wednesday, this being New Year's Eve, if you do have any New Year's Eve plans Wednesday night, this is a new development from yesterday. Time to stop drinking. That's the problem. If I stopped drinking coffee, this would never happen. I would struggle to get out of bed. I love coffee. I could not do without coffee. Wednesday, New Year's Eve, rain showers push in. Yesterday this was dry. This is a change from yesterday, slight change. Some rain shower activity and then tumbling temperatures again late Wednesday night into Thursday. Why is that a problem? Well, that's New Year's Eve. A lot of people are out and about for that. If you're out and about for that, while not a big snowstorm, it's a sign that we are definitely trying to get back into more of a wintry pattern we'll have to keep an eye on this. This would be just after the ball drops and you're still out and about into Thursday morning. Nothing set in stone. This is a long ways away, but something just to keep an eye on as we head into the new year. So in between there, when it comes to rain, quite a bit of it, right? Before we hit the end of the year, which this takes us all the way through Wednesday, the 31st, many areas are going to see at least a ½ inch of rain. That's the lighter green shade, and maybe over an inch of rain in a few isolated spots. For us, we would have to see just a little bit over an inch of rain to get us to 50 inches on the year, and that would put us in a top 15 spot of wettest years ever here in Cincinnati. We'll see if that pans out or not. If not, it's not a big deal. I'm just saying it's going to be pretty wet here to close out the year. Not as wet as what they're going to see in eastern Ohio, Pennsylvania, and through West Virginia. Quite a bit of rainfall for them here the next 10 days. For us, I think the bigger story is just the temperatures. Today, not bad. We're running about 10 degrees above normal today. Actually, we're running almost 20 degrees above. 15 to 20 above today. We're back to just 10 degrees. Only 10 degrees above normal tomorrow. At 50 degrees, that's our brief cool down, and then we're right back to 60 for your Christmas day, 65 for the first day of Kwanzaa on Friday, and 64 on Saturday. Temperatures there anywhere between about 20 to 25 degrees above where they should be. If you like the warmth, enjoy it. I'm not super convinced that we could get back to that until we hit like late winter, early spring, because we have a lot of January and February to get to, and they're not notorious for being very warm months, and not notorious for having warm spells like this. So enjoy the warmth. If you're a warm weather person, throw on the shorts and the short sleeves for Friday and Saturday, and then have instant regret for keeping any of that on by Sunday or Monday. Low temperatures in this time span, even more brutal there, especially look at the temperature drop. That's the drop we're going to see from Sunday into Monday. Sunday being the temperature, early in the morning, about midnight. So that's more of a 36-hour drop from that Sunday to Monday low. Low temperature Monday and Tuesday in the teens. So winter is back. Now, despite that cool down coming, which everybody can see, the Climate Prediction Center, maybe off for the holidays, are not paying attention, or maybe, just maybe, they're not really factoring in too much days 11, 12, 13, 14 in there, because they still have us in the well above normal category here, running all the way through early January. Do I think we're going to be well above normal? I don't think so. I think we're going to be at least closer to normal, so we'll see. I think they have us a little too hot on that for the latter half, but nonetheless, here we go. Some disagreements, right? Let's start a weather fight here just before Christmas. Here's the very warm half of the forecast, if you try to just ignore Monday on there. First 6 of the 7-day forecast, well above where we should be for this time of the year, and pretty active from a weather standpoint. We have a few sprinkles outside tomorrow night. Same for Thursday, and then we dry out Thursday afternoon. Friday, showers more likely. Saturday, a slim chance early, but then the rest of the day looks nice. Saturday looks like the pick day here, the forecast. I mean, even tomorrow's not bad. Today's not bad. I mean, just pick your day. You're in good shape. Sunday, not great. Temperatures dropping through the day, and we'll be dropping very quickly out there. Saturday, Sunday from 64 all the way back to 19 by Monday morning. And then by the time we hit next week, you can see there Tuesday, I think the clouds will start to thicken up a bit, but the rain chances, they return for New Year's Eve, and maybe a little bit of a wintry mix on the tail end of that Wednesday night into the new year. So something to keep an eye on. That's a little change from yesterday, something to monitor, because that's still a long ways out and things do change. So we'll see how that works, but at least for New Year's, for now, not a washout, but definitely a lot colder than what we're going to be seeing outside for Christmas. And with that, a Merry Christmas to you all. I'll be back at 3 and 4 o'clock this afternoon. I'll also be here tomorrow, but then I'm off for Christmas and the day after. So good weather forecast for me if I'm going to pick some days off. With that said, we'll see you then. If you ever have any more questions, always throw them to my Facebook, throw them to the Instagram, the Twitter, wherever you have your weathery questions or comments or complaints or suggestions. Go ahead and throw them to these social media pages. Still trying to grow these out. Just a couple days ago, what was it, last week, Facebook hit 23,000 gluttons for punishment. So we always appreciate that, and by we, I mean I appreciate that. Twitter, I don't really do a whole lot of anymore, but I'm still on there. I post some weather things if you're on that. That's your platform of choice. And then Instagram, you can find me there. It's Call Me Brad. And, yeah, so anyway, if you ever have any questions, weathery things happening, or you have any funny weather photos, always love to see those and share those. So please send them my way. If I don't see you tomorrow, because I know some of you probably have some Christmassy plans, maybe getting ready for the holidays out there on Wednesday. If you're not tuning in tomorrow, do have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and all that kind of good stuff. Or Happy Kwanzaa there on Friday. I know Hanukkah just hopped, I think it just ended yesterday maybe. I'm not good on keeping up with that, but I think that just came to an end. So, just a grand blanket statement there for everybody. Happy holidays, because everybody celebrates a little bit differently. And whatever you're celebrating, enjoy the nice warm weather, because that is universal. 60 degrees outside on Thursday for Christmas, 65 on Friday, everybody. We'll see you again at 3, 4 o'clock. I'll see you again tomorrow, and then we'll enjoy the nice holiday weather together. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody.